Alex, tell us where Mahar Family Adventures is going today.
Santa Cruz.
How are we getting there?
Ferry.
And what are we hoping about this ferry?
That it's not as rough.
Yeah.
And I don't barf.
There's a ray out there. In front of that boat. See it? Our final time in the Galapagos will be spent in Porta Aora on Santa Cruz Island. Santa Cruz is the most popular island by far and as a result the most developed. Porta Aora is also home to the Darwin Research Station, something we've all been keen to explore, but mostly Miles with his particular interest in genetics and the fact that he is quite familiar with Darwin's work. So on day one we headed there to explore. First off though, we were told in order to visit we would have to participate in a tour at another cost per person fee. Annoyed, but knowing we likely wouldn't be back, we signed up for the English tour. As we waited for our tour to start, we headed to a beach very nearby to kill some time. While we waited, the boys found the smallest hermit crab and Nancy let it crawl around her hand. Once the tour started, we knew immediately we'd been taken for another tourist fee, and it is literally a tourist fee. Locals don't have to pay. We had signed up for an English tour, but our guide couldn't speak English. Annoyed, but at the same time feeling a bit guilty we couldn't speak Spanish, we stuck it out. The tour was to take us through some native grassland and then through another tortoise breeding center. The tour dragged on for over an hour with us and a bunch of other English-speaking tourists wandering about trying to pick up what we could from our guide. The finale of the tour was through a room dedicated to a single tortoise, fondly named Lonesome George. Lonesome George is a last known Pinta Island tortoise, a species long thought to be extinct until George was found alive on the island in 1971. For the next 40 years, researchers and zoos all over the world searched to find Lonesome George a mate, and despite significant resources and time dedicated, their efforts failed and George died in 2012, officially making the species extinct. Standing in front of Lonesome George to take this picture, I felt a swell of sadness. It was a stark reminder that our world is a fragile place, and even in a time of scientific wonders, cloning and all the rest, we couldn't save him, and we couldn't save his species. After being pushed through his shrine, we were released to visit the rest of the Darwin Research Station, something we later learned we could have done for free, and now we were extra annoyed. So we took advantage anyway and walked about the research station and took in as much as we could.
Fitting shirt for where we are today, Miles?
On day 2, we thought we would get out and do some self-exploring, heading to a popular swimming hole called Las Gritas, where you swim in the water holes of some deep crevasses. Everything we read said you can take the hike and spend the afternoon swimming. Well, lo and behold, when we arrived, it was another tourist fee, and we aren't talking a couple of dollars, we were talking $10 per adult and $5 per child. We were certainly shy giving our past tour experiences with these tours, so we debated for a bit, finally deciding that we've come here to explore, so we need to do it. That, and it was 30 plus degrees out and everyone wanted to swim. This time we weren't disappointed. Although crowded, the swimming hole was super cool, the water refreshing and very clear. We only got an hour to swim, so we spent the whole hour in the water.
A school of fish also goes down. And I'm like swimming fast. Alright, you wanna go down again? Please?
On the way back, we stopped at a beach we fondly named Finch Bay, because that was the name of the nearest hotel. It was one of the best beaches we'd seen to date, and it was here that a black-tipped reef shark literally circled within a couple feet of the boys. We typically spend part of each day exploring and the rest with some downtime. There was a little extra downtime these days as the temperatures were reaching 37 degrees Celsius during the day. So we killed time cuddling, calling friends, eating pineapple, swimming in the pool, and checking out the local watering holes. When nightfall came, we hit the streets.
How was Mike's wake? What'd you do? What kind of things? That camera's watching
Watch out for bikes.
Our time in the Galapagos was coming to a close, and even though we had been to 3 tortoise breeding centers and learned a significant amount about the conservation efforts, we felt we really hadn't appreciated the tortoise appropriately. After all, this is the only place in the world this species exists. So we booked a taxi to take us up to the highlands where these tortoises live in the wild and can be visited at a couple of ranches, and I can tell you we were sure glad we did. Getting up close and personal with them was certainly an experience, but when we spotted these guys on the side of the highway and just randomly crossing the road, we finally felt like we had properly experienced the magic of the Galapagos tortoise.
Oh yeah.
Daddy the tortoise.
How heavy is it?
It's not so heavy.
No.
It's just it's a little bit awkward to do.
Yeah.
Make sure your form is good. Oh, look at me. You're a tortoise. There you go. You're a tortoise.
Oh, Alex the tortoise.
Yeah, whoa.
There you go.
Where's that go?
That's a tortoise poop.
The second stop of the day was to some lava tunnels that were nearby the Tortoise Ranch. We'll let Miles explain how these are formed.
Oh gosh, you know how they're formed?
Lava running through.
Yeah, but how come this stayed?
So lava runs through, and then I think
solidifies
because it's so cold on the outside
It solidifies.
that it solidifies as it's moving through,
Right?
and the lava goes out into the ocean.
Yep. I have a flashlight if you need it.
Yeah, same here.
Am I right?
Yeah.
See, big brain.
Now we're on the bus. So we took a taxi to the barge across the channel to the bus, and now the bus to the airport. You're on the edge.
Adios, Galapagos!